All right, folks, it's New Year's Eve 2024, the last show of this year, waiting on 2025, folks. Dusty's here. I'm here. I can't wait to see my grandson play football. But in the meantime, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks, from Eve After Dark to concerts in the park, you're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, and my main man for God knows how long now. I don't know how many years it's going down. Dusty Vision in the house, y'all. We're about to make this last show. Do what it do, folks. Let it do what it do. All right, here we go. What up, Doc?
Lonzo, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm feeling a whole lot better, man. I ain't sneezing like 2 days. Eyes not watering no more. I can actually walk around without having a coat on all day long. I'm feeling much better.
I love it, man. I'm doing great, man. Feeling like $1 million. Looking forward to the holiday, to New Year. I'm just gonna walk down the street, hang out with some neighbors, call it an easy night, like a typical 45, 50-year-old man should, man.
I ain't mad at you at all, dog. I'm not mad at you at all. It's one of them times, man. It just sometimes you just got to go sit your ass down.
What did you do back in the day, man? Let's go back in your 20s, 30s. What was a typical New Year's Eve like for Alonzo? I know you were always probably working, probably.
I was partying all the time. I was telling my partner today, man, shoot, I must have given 30, 40, 50 New Year's Eve parties, man. It's always been a busy time for me right around this time. And holidays, because, Christmas was last week. I'd make money on Christmas and turn back around and already promote New Year's Eve, and it was always something to do, Doc.
Yeah, I'm sure back then too, man. The 80s and 90s, fun New Year's Eve parties, man. Must have went down.
Now, you know what? I was just tripping on something just a second ago, man. I'm working on another book called Where's the Party At? And today I lucked out, and they were having a Facebook post about how many clubs we had back in the 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm at 142 clubs, man. We had over 142 clubs just to go. Just a couple of them I know I missed. I got to call one of my other buddies who's been around for a while as well. But to have that many clubs back in the day, and now we down maybe one, maybe two. That's a shame, man. But again, there's reasons why this happened, and that's what I'm explaining in my book.
Yeah, we all know the reasons. A lot of unfortunate situations, the gangs and the drugs and things like that. What was Lonzo's favorite club to go to? If you could just pick one, you know what I'm saying? Which one has just the best ultimate memories in your brain?
I didn't party that late. I went to Pasadena. Pasadena girls ain't got that much to choose from. They are a lot more friendly. Moose McGillicuddy's was my spot on the corner.
Yeah.
They go on the corner of Orange and Orange Grove or something like that, man. Oh, man, I'm walking that summer again, especially records on the radio. Oh, shit. I didn't make out the parking lot most of the time. It was a good days, that.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, shout out to everybody out there. Hope you have a very safe and fun New Year and bring in 2025 right, man. I can't believe I'm saying 2025, but we're in 2025, and I just want to thank you all for sticking with us again for another year. Lonzo, we started this. We're going into our 6th, 7th year, man. Doing that.
Man, it don't seem like it, but when I look at all the shows we've done, all the things we've covered, it's amazing, man. It's just amazing, dude. It has been about 6, maybe 7 years, dude.
Yeah. 2018, brother. 2018, man. Late 2018 is when we officially started. So I just want to thank everybody once again, the chat fam and the love that we get and the audience. You guys are awesome, man. Just keep showing that support, and we're gonna keep giving you guys great content. But let's talk a little bit, Lonzo. I want to kind of do a show about you tonight. Every once in a while we do this, and we just talk straight up about Lonzo, and it's things we've covered. But once again, we've been doing the show for dang 6-7 years now. So, there's things that we haven't covered in a few years. So I went back to some old videos, and there's a few things I would love to discuss with you, man. Let's do this first. All right. Let's talk about the importance of MTV and the early years of music videos. You were around, you were hot in the game, you were ready to go, young cat. When this thing called MTV came out, how important was that to music, period?
At first, we didn't really understand the impact because I wasn't in the music business as of yet. Okay. And when you saw the videos that were being played on MTV, and you started getting into the cost of making videos, because videos were expensive as shit back in the day, dude. They were 25 to 50 grand easy. When Mike changed the game with the Thriller video, and it made it like $500,000. But so it wasn't, and everything was on film. And if you didn't know nobody with a film camera, had some film, you couldn't even afford to mess up back then, because every time you messed up, it cost you money. So we were impressed with the concept, but in the beginning, wasn't a lot of black acts being played on MTV. It started off being mostly rock and roll acts, and I was talking about how many different times the music industry has been prejudiced towards black folks, and then turn back around, and then all of a sudden, oh, thank you, you're the greatest thing in the world. I just think that's a serious injustice that they come in so small-minded and so segregated. Then they turn back around, and all of a sudden, whatever we do becomes the biggest thing ever. Whether it was Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, whatever, all that stuff had a major impact. Even when Will won his first Grammy, they wouldn't even show it on television. Hip hop. No, hip hop is no big deal. Now now they love hip hop. But here's the crazy part about the whole situation, Doc. When the videos were expensive and we couldn't afford to get them, you had MTV. Now, to make a video, no big deal at all. You can make a video for a few $100. If you have skills, probably even less. But you can't. Nobody plays videos anymore. There's no video shows. Have you noticed that? Do you know why there's no video shows?
Why is that?
Because they never came up with a pay scale that can satisfy both sides of the spectrum. Music, see, when music get played on the radio, it's a set fee. You pay the producer, pay the artist, blah, blah, blah. When the video is played, you got a producer, you got directors, then you got the artist. Does he get double paid? And they never could come to the table to come and figure out how we're gonna pay these people. And when that happened, it just made video. Then they started making videos actually for promotional only. Then they started making television shows using videos and selling commercials. Who gets that money? We just gonna sell out. We're gonna give you our product that we made for free to possibly promote our product while y'all make money. Nah, it ain't gonna work. So why you don't see too many video shows, and even MTV. YouTube. YouTube has changed the game a little bit, but still, most of that stuff is controlled by YouTube. If you play it on YouTube, you can't play it no place else. You'll get a copyright infringement. Okay, so it was a great concept while it lasted. Even the other program, the pay-per-view situation. What was it called? Come on, help.
Close caption.
No, video.
Tupac. Yeah.
That was something that started off being a great idea, but they abused it. They abused it and turned it into a payola situation. So eventually it got sued out of business, and it just, and the game has been on a decline ever since then, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was definitely a different time. What was I love watching old 80s videos, especially from around that time. I feel like they were trying to outdo each other. And some of those videos, even though they were made in the 80s, they were amazing. But what was the video that you remember sticking out that was like everybody was talking about? Man, if I could pick one, it would be Thriller, Michael Jackson. That's what I just remember everybody talking about that. But is there a video specifically that you remember that everybody was talking about?
I'm gonna jump in the trunk with that one too, man.
Thriller.
Jump in the car with you because Thriller was like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, the extended version, yep.
Yeah. When Thriller came out, everything else it just seemed like a little something. It didn't seem the same. Michael put a stamp on the video game that nobody else could do. You like the Janet Jackson videos with her doing her thing when she was in control. I liked some of the guys stuff, but everybody was dancing. Michael Landis changed the video game, turned it into short films, and that was just, man, that was hard to beat, dude.
Yeah, that was the one. Oh, sorry, that was definitely the one, man. That was definitely the one I remember. Did you you guys never made any videos for your for any of your songs, correct?
I made one video. And it wasn't for a song anybody would even know about. It was the remake of, well, not the second version of Turn Off the Lights. It was called The Lights Are Off. And we had a little $10,000 budget. Got the whole thing in my house. And I found a copy of it not long ago. And maybe about 15 seconds at the very beginning is missing. But everybody in the video was all new members. The only person you're gonna probably recognize is me. Mona wasn't in the video, neither was Michelle or anybody from the Wreckin Cru. It was just me and my boy Willie Z and Alberto, and we tried to do a knockoff of Turn Off the Lights, because that song was so big for us. We just tried to do something else to make it happen. Didn't happen.
Now, I know there's stuff on YouTube of world-class Wreckin Cru performing and things like that, but back then, was it commonplace to record your performances, to maybe watch them back later and see what you could have did differently, or was just video production so much money that even recording at that time was a little bit expensive?
Dude, it was really difficult. It was hard to find somebody with a camera back then. It was really difficult. A lot of videos I had was just stuff somebody gave me over time. Hey, man, I was at your show. Check this out. Okay. And you can have it in that type of situation. And that's why it's not a lot of videos. It's pretty much the same 2 or 3 videos over and over again. Because at that time, a video camera was like $2,500 and was about yay big. Okay. It was $2,500. You had to put on the shoulder. You had to bring somebody with you to just run it. And VHS tapes was like $10, $15 a tape. Oh man, life was different. It was a lot different back then, man. It was a lot different. A lot different. And the quality wasn't that great because you had to have a lot of light. The one video we did to do those, I got to credit one of my ex-girlfriends. She works at the cable station with me, and she brought the whole truck out and she shot it on the 3/4 inch video and 3/4 inch video, and told me if I paid for the tape, she'd give me the video. And that's how I got that stuff from Dudos. Other than that, I wouldn't have it. And back then, those reels were like $30 a piece, only 30 minutes long. Big ass cassettes, about that big, about that wide, and they were 30 minutes long, and they were like $30, $35 a piece. You had to have at least, for an hour show, you got to have at least 2 or 3 of them in case you messed up.
Yeah. Let's fast forward a bit. MTV still around, and they start noticing this thing called hip hop. And out of the blue, I believe it was 88. I could be wrong. 88, 89, probably 88. They released Yo MTV Raps. Now, when you, as a person in the business back then, when you see Yo MTV Raps, an hour or whatever, 2 hours dedicated specifically to hip hop, this thing that everybody said was going to be a fad, what were your general thoughts originally on Yo MTV Raps?
I thought it was dope as fuck, and why you ain't talking to me? By that time, my last record was made in like 88, 86. I was 86, 87. I'm sorry, Turn Off the Lights made 87. We had kind of cooled down as world-class Wreckin Cru, and gangster rap had the whole world by the collar. And if you wasn't gangster, they really wasn't talking to you, unless you was JJ Fad. JJ Fad always got tons of love, but West Coast, it's pretty much was gotten to the gangster era, and they was focusing on hardcore stuff, and hip hop got hard. It stopped being fun from the West Coast, and they was focusing. I don't think Dream Team ever did Egypt or Dream Team ever did anything on Yo MTV Raps. They wasn't messing with us like that, and I think that's how the dynamic got shifted so hard, because the only people you start seeing on shows like that were hardcore rappers, and the party folks were still doing parties. They wasn't doing it on Yo MTV Raps, to my knowledge.
Before we continue, Marlon Cozy says, "Yo, Unc, sorry, won't be able to catch you up in SAC, but do you have any more books for sale? Would like to buy 2 autographed, me and mom."
Got that. I just got some more books. Well, I got books. I got some coming in also for Sacramento. And between now and Sacramento, I'll make sure you get what you need, Doc. No problem. Appreciate you.
There you go. Yeah, no, didn't see. Anthony King said he made a comment, but he thought I deleted it. No, I don't delete any comments. Brother King, but he said if this guy was good to Dre, he would have been rich. I assumed you deleted. I wanted to address him. Like, go ahead and repost it. For some reason, maybe YouTube didn't like that comment or something, but I don't even see it up here. King. So yeah, go ahead and do that for me, and I'll make sure I read it off to Lonzo. But let's keep it pushing, Lonzo. Fox Channel 11 was a new channel back then, new station back in the late 80s. And from 1989 to 1992, they released a show. They had a show on their program called Pump It Up. I'm sure you're aware of the show. You even know Dee Barnes personally. I know one of the sisters from Body and Soul lived with you and things like that. But here's this other new show. You know, it's not as big as Yo MTV Raps. It's on a much smaller station, but it's a little more raw. It's a little more uncut. They're showing a little more of the artists that we listen to in the streets. But what were your general thoughts, man, when you saw this new show called Pump It Up?
And I was proud, dude. I was proud as one of my kids having our own show, or I am today as my grandson playing in the Fiesta Bowl. Because D was at my house when the mom called her and told her, "You may want to come home. They're looking for you." And it was really a hell of an impact because once again, somebody from my camp made it to the next level. And I was very proud of him. I watched that show every week. Okay. And I was really disappointed when the situation happened with her and Dre. And it just was the whole aspect again. Now she was trying to get to me, but they wouldn't let her mess with me. And it was just a different kind of era was coming into play, and they weren't messing with anybody that wasn't mad at the world.
Yeah, that was a dope show. I stayed up. I recorded every single episode I could. It introduced me to other artists that I never even knew was out there. What were your thoughts on that? Well, talk to us about Dee Barnes and Rose, man. You knew them personally. They were at your house. I know one of them lived with you for a short period of time. But what tell us about Body and Soul.
Rose stayed here for a while, man. She was a good friend. She's from Oceanside. She came out to LA and needed a spot to crash at. I had a big old house. I had 2 or 3 bedrooms. When nobody here but me, take a bedroom. And no, I never did do nothing. I'm that kind of dude. I can do stupid shit like that. We never did nothing. She just was a cool person. And because she was here, D came by all the time. And they would always be in the either studio or the den writing lyrics or back in the studio rehearsing. And those two brought an energy that nobody else really did. Because one is fire, one is ice, okay? Rose is real laid back. D is all over the place, okay? But they feed off each other, okay? They feed off each other like Lucy and Ethel, man. They or Thelma and Louise. I can't think of no other female teams, but because they were so opposite, it worked. And the energy was, like I said, real, especially D. Her energy was always good, and it just made for a good vibe around the house. They had some cute girls hanging out, and when she got a call for Pump It Up, she was right here at the pad. I think her mom might have paged her or something like that, and had her come to the house. Say they're looking for you, and then a lot of dissension. So a little bit of dissension came in. I ain't gonna say a lot. A little bit of dissension came in because people thought because they were a group, they should have did the show together. And just like a salt and pepper type situation, and that it didn't happen that way. And it just, and especially when you got a bunch of youngsters around with a bunch of youngsters, nobody understand the game. They barely want to pay D. Why are they gonna pay somebody else? D was telling me stories like, they never recorded the shows. She's the only one that has any copies of the show. When the show was done, I think they destroyed the whole thing. They didn't even worry about archiving the shit. Okay. So it was a low budget situation and the producers made all the money. So they didn't want to pay nobody. They, it was just one of them things. They was giving it a try. And I think right after that situation with her and Dre, I think it ended right after that, if I'm not mistaken.
We haven't discussed that if we did ever much, but on January 27th, 91, she was physically assaulted by Dr. Dre at a rap industry party. Barnes pressed criminal charges and filed a lawsuit. Dre pled no contest to the charges and settled the suit out of court. As someone who knew both of these people very personally, when you heard that, what were your thoughts?
I was totally blown away. I had no idea. I thought they was lying for a long time. But what you mean? Because again, it was like, if you ever see house party, that's how my house was. Everybody would be here. Everybody's coming and going. Sometimes I wouldn't even be here, but because Rose was here, she knew when I wasn't here, she was in charge. And to have Dre, Cube, Dre, Yella, everybody was easy here. And to hear about something like that happening, it was like, huh? You lying. Because you would never saw it coming. I would have never saw that coming. I would have never saw it coming because they all got along so well. And for that to happen, I could understand what it was, but after I heard more about it, then it gave me a better understanding. And I'm not going to discuss that on the show. I don't want no problems. But it just, it was something else involved in that just made that situation worse than what it really was. And I'm gonna leave that alone right there.
We got a comment in the comment section. A little haterade probably added to it, but I would love for you to address it, Lonzo. This guy says, if this guy, meaning Alonzo Williams, showed love to Dr. Dre, he would have been rich. It's sad, really. And before you comment, I want to shout out to the King of Pop, AK King, because he's defending you in the comments. He says, Lonzo has been great to everyone, including me, as I was there. Keep in mind, we were young, and Lonzo was leadership to us all. The reasons we are alive today, including the reason Dre is alive. Shout out to the King of Pop right there for that love to Lonzo. But when you hear somebody, make a comment like that, if Alonzo showed love to Dre, he would have been rich.
I couldn't have showed him no more love if he was my own son. Bought him his first car, lied for him, gave him his first job, took him on the road. I never took nothing from him. Some people just feel that they don't owe nobody nothing, and that's how he feel. I don't know. I never asked him for nothing, and some people don't. Maybe a closed mouth don't get fed. I don't know, but we've talked. We've had great conversations. I'm gonna ask you for something in a minute though. I got something he gonna appreciate. And it ain't about no music and no video, nothing like that. But I had a conversation this morning. I've had this conversation 3 times in the past 2 weeks about something that when I get to him, when I get to him, I'm gonna have to get paid. And it's gonna be beneficial for everybody involved. So like I said before, man, I don't do gangster music. I like it, I dance to it, I play it in my car. It's just that I was thinking about this the other day. This is the part that most people, young people might not understand. I have always been the voice of reason on West Coast hip hop. Got to understand my background. From the age of 19, 20, 21 years old, people were dropping their kids off to my facilities to party, expecting them to come out of these joints, sweaty, having a good time in one piece with no holes in them. Eve After Dark, I did that for God knows how long, 6, 7 years, never lost a kid. Dudos, never lost a kid. When the kids start doing things that I didn't feel as a grown, responsible man were going to be beneficial to them or anybody around, I chose to back up. Now, if you're a grown man and you want to be a rookie gangbanger at 28, 29 years old, that's on you. That ain't where my head is at. I've never gangbanged. I've never perpetrated to be a gangbanger. And to see people who I know that were not gangbangers perpetrate to be a gangbanger to get paid was not something I could do. One thing about me, and it's probably one of my biggest faults, is I'm true to myself. I am trying to impress nobody. I'm true to myself. And I didn't feel comfortable being a part of that. With all the shit that's happened over the past 20 years and shit that's still coming out, for a lot of people, it wasn't worth it. And I've seen this so many times. When you think about all the artists who have gotten rich, been killed, died, can't go nowhere, live in bubbles. I was talking about this morning, man, with a friend of mine. When you have a certain amount of money, everybody wants something from you all the time. When you go places, you can't just go, hey, man, I'm going to the store, I'm going to the restaurant, pick up a burger. No. You have to go coordinate your security team to go out to dinner. You got people that's got to be around you, protect you, which at some point in time can be the very ones to testify against your ass if you do something that somebody say that you wasn't supposed to do. I never wanted to live like that, man. And I know it sounds crazy. I've been doing me for a long time. And it's real difficult to, yes, I could always use some more money. I'm not mad, but what am I prepared to do for it? Am I going to grab my ankles or drop to my knees? Nah, not going to do that. Am I going to be somebody that I ain't going to be? Nah. If I'm around folks that's doing shit that should not be done, it's almost my obligation to say, hey, man, y'all might want to back up off that. You might want to back up off that. Now, y'all rich, y'all got more money than God.
Dusty Vision, Lonzo radio show, taking your requests on the hotline.
That is my ringtone.
Is that a new watch?
I got a Apple Watch for Christmas, man. But my
That's
phone,
what
I'm trying to turn it off because somebody just called me, and for whatever reason, it ain't letting me do it. So anyway, man, and I think that's my explanation, not a justification, but the explanation of why things probably haven't gone. People just don't throw out money, man. I mean, I decide out of mind.
Yeah,
I decide out of mind. I'm still in the same house I was. I'm in this house for 40 years, man. And Cass ain't been in this house in 40 years. Okay? If I got something that I think they can use or they can make some money on and I can get paid on it, we can do that. But it's, and maybe I represent a part of their life that they don't remember. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because they wasn't gangsters when they was with me. They wasn't gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the young men. I knew the teenagers. I knew when they was goofy. And can't be goofy no more. They can't afford to be goofy. So, man, unless you know the real story, it's hard. It's easy to sit on the sideline and say, if you did this, I never did nothing wrong to nobody, dude. If I did, I probably would have problems out of somebody. I never had no problem out of nobody. Anybody looking for Lonzo?
Mm-hmm.
Lonzo go anywhere he want to and have no problem. From City Hall of Compton to the downtown LA and the damn garment district of Skid Row. I got friends on Skid. I got people on Skid Row. What's up, Lonzo? So, hey, but because I have the freedom to go to these different places without having to look over my shoulder means a lot. I ain't gonna say it means more than money, but it means an awful lot, man.
Yeah,
it means an awful lot.
Yeah. Let's do this, Lonzo. Before we continue, I'm going to ask everybody to hit that like button. If you haven't already, please smash that like button. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. You are tuned into N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. I am Dusty Vision. We do appreciate you bringing in the new year with us. We wish you all a great 2025. I would love to give you another lyric, Lonzo, and we're going to do this. Go ahead.
1 second. Ask that person this right here. Kool Herc invented hip hop. Who gave him some money? All the folks that ever came out of hip hop, he's credited with discovering hip hop, creating hip hop. Who LL, Ron, whoever, who just cut him a check for him? Man, I appreciate you, bam. If it did, it didn't make the news.
Damn, that's a good point.
It didn't make the news. That generation was not like that, man. This is a pretty kind of a selfish generation. They don't think about that, to my knowledge. Okay, when Kool Herc, it was an auction a year or so ago, and Cool Herc sold his archives. He made almost $1 million. I don't know who bought it, but it wasn't nobody. You know, he had to sell it because, you know, my man. I saw him at the Grammys. He needs some help. He needs assistance walking. So, I think somebody else had to have a GoFundMe or a fundraiser for old school hip hop players. Okay, when you got a bunch of cats who, man, he take this meal ticket, take this half meal ticket right off of my taxes or whatever the case may be. They don't do that. They don't do that. I ain't never seen that. I think you get out of jail, here cut him a check. Brother, get out of jail. Hey man, take this right here for the homies. But a brother that put work in the game, they don't do that, man. So if it's not a common practice, why is it uncommon for it not to happen to me? It's not a common practice. It's not a common practice. I've never heard anybody do that before. If you know somebody did that before, passing out checks to old school players, let me know. Let me know.
Be first in line, and well deserved at that. But that's a great point about King Herc, man. I mean, yeah, these old school players get no love. They got no love. I mean, a lot of them unfortunately are broke. Let's keep it real. Like that really sucks.
We didn't get the money these guys got. We did all the grinding. We chopped all the bush down. They came in behind us. The road was already paved. All they had to do was put some wheels on the car and start shining. Okay, and I don't know nobody that ever looked back and said, "Hey, man, drop that on you right quick, homie. Good looking out for the game." I can't recall that. I ain't never seen that. I ain't never that press release. I ain't never heard that news blast or that. I ain't heard nothing go viral like that. Now I know Cat Williams. Here's something I do know for sure. Cat Williams, partner of mine, on the nightclub, the French Quarters in Bellflower. Cat Williams was a regular down there. Ernest told me himself, Cat Williams would drop 5 or 10,000. Man, I love you, man. Here, take this right here. Just hit him in the hip with 5 or 10 racks. Did it more than once. But people are different. You know, some people are more appreciative than others. Some people think they did it all by themselves. They don't owe nobody nothing. Hey, that's how the game goes, Doc. So unless you got another situation that you can compare to mine, you might want to leave this the fuck alone.
There it is. There it is. Now let's do our bit, Lonzo, where I give you a lyric and we break it down. And Tupac is going to be probably the one that we use a lot. He's one of my favorite rappers. He just has so many great lyrics when you break his stuff down. But this lyric is from the song Ghetto Gospel, and it goes like this. Before we find world peace, we got to find peace and end the war in the streets. Simple, easy line. I'll say it again so we can break it down. I would love what Lonzo thinks on this. Before we find world peace, we got to find peace and end the war in the streets. When you hear that, what are your thoughts?
That he's absolutely right, and that we have to lead by example, man. We're being led by example. The wars that go around the world, we emulate what we see. But just like music and art can emulate music and life can imitate art, and life can influence the streets. Because if we have a situation in the streets where people come together and start realizing, maybe he ain't the problem after all. That's your problem right there. Once you realize that this brother next to you ain't the problem, you're gonna figure out what the problem is, and now you got a new problem, and the problem got a problem. If you understand what I mean, okay? It ain't the brother next to you, it ain't the brother around the corner, around the block. It's just y'all are in the same proximity of each other, and y'all easy targets for each other. The people that's really causing the problem are folks that you'll never know their names. They're so high up in society that you never know their names. Or it may be corporations. Don't get me canceled on YouTube, man.
Corporate, man. Go down that rabbit hole, folks. If you don't know, go down that rabbit hole.
Don't get me canceled, please.
Man. Well, speaking of Pac, you said in the past that Tupac was, quote, the ultimate gangster. Tell us what you meant by that. We did a whole video on that about 4 or 5 years ago. What when you say Pac is the ultimate gangster, what do you mean?
Pac is the only rapper I've ever known that ever came to another black man's aid and he didn't know who he was. Pac was in Atlanta, Georgia, saw a brother getting jumped on by 2 white boys, didn't know they was cops. Came out blasting. Okay? Went to court and beat the case. I ain't heard nobody else do nothing like this. He was riding down the street, saw the brother getting beat, and decided he gonna come to his rescue. Who does that? Tupac. Put on this goddamn Superman cape, and got to shooting folks and got people off of him. Caught a case. And because the 2 guys never identified themselves, he beat the case. That made him arch enemy number 1 in the eyes of all police. All police. That's real talk. Now, folks talk a lot of shit in their music. I ain't never heard nobody doing that. Now, you shoot at another brother, but I'm not commending him for shooting at no white people. But I'm just saying he saw a brother in need and he came to his aid. Nowadays, brother, break out this camera and watch him get his ass whooped. He'll watch that same dude, but get beat about it. I got you, man. I got you. I got you. Hold still. You got to focus. You got to focus. Hold on. Like, come on, man. Put that camera down and get these fools up off me, man. Please.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I just watched it again for the first time in a very long time, but compared to Straight Outta Compton, what were your thoughts on the Tupac biopic?
I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, man.
Dude, it came out right behind Straight Outta Compton. I'm like, me and Adrian went to go see it together. I'm like, damn, they made you out to be a buster. I mean, they made me out to be a hater, but I was a good hater in the movie, okay? But they just
they made Adrian out to be a buster. You're right. I was like, damn, okay.
And I knew Adrian long before he met Tupac. Adrian ain't never been no buster, okay? Never. You know, just on the strip. Adrian's a black belt in karate, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, he ain't no joke. And he ain't no small dude either. Okay, so for him to get portrayed like a buster and he just got walked, no. That didn't. And then you know, just the storyline was kind of weak. It was very weak. I think they just saw opportunity to take advantage of something, jumped on it, and did it, and just to make some quick money. They knew it was going to get some fanfare. And by the time people realized the movie wasn't all that great, they would have moved on to something else. They'd have been paid.
Yeah, I thought the actor looked really very much like Tupac. Even had some of his mannerisms with the walk, but the story around it, I was just not. It wasn't doing it for me.
It was weak. I've seen better.
Yeah. But speaking of gangster, you mentioned in the past that sometimes in the music biz, you got to be, quote, gangster. What is some of the gangster shit that Alonzo had to do back in the day that you may or may not be proud of to make it through the music industry?
When you saw, there was a scene in Straight Outta Compton, you saw Cube tear up Brian Turner's office. I did that 3-4 years before he did to McCullough. Don McMillan ripped off a bunch of my records and turned off the lights. We was leaving McCullough, and I went there on a Monday. It was about 20,000 copies that turned off the lights in there. I'd already called distributors up because I ain't never been just an artist. I'm a businessman. Record's still hot, but he called them back in. And so I told him, I'm going to come pick them records up on Wednesday. I go back there on Tuesday. Half of them is gone. Dad, where my records at? I had to scrap them. You ain't scrapped that many records in no one day. It didn't happen. As I'm leaving the office, mad as hot as fish grease, his secretary said, so I called her back. Your records are on Alameda and wherever it was. So I go down there, and sure enough, they unloading my shit. Man, I went back to Don's office the next morning, and I told Unknown what happened. Unknown called Don and said, man, I don't know what you did to Lonzo, but he's coming to get you. He's coming to get you today, okay? and you deserve it because I know you stole his records. I walked into his office. He was on the phone. I snatched the phone out of his hand, slammed the phone on the desk. I need my damn money for my records. I'm trying to be good these days. I'm working on the sponsorships. I can't do a bunch of cussing. I need my MF money for my records. I don't want to hear it. Don kept a set of golf clubs in his office. I grabbed a 9-iron and started teeing off on his damn desk. Teed off on everything, the TV set, the radio, the bookcase. And all of a sudden, money started flying at me. He started throwing stacks of money at me. And I looked. It's about $5,000. I'm mad. I'm pissed off. I'm going to take this for right now, damn it. I'm coming back tomorrow, get my records and the rest of my money. Came back the next day with a truck, got the rest of my records and some more money. Yeah, let him know I don't play. And Unknown had me laughing, man. Lonzo was really upset. I'd never seen him like that before. You pissed him off. Now, see, nobody else would know that story but me and Unknown. Dre wouldn't know that story. Yella don't know that story. And again, nobody knows that story but me and Unknown. But me and my cousin is dead now. So we had to go and load the truck up. It was his truck. We loaded up the next day, got my money, and got my records. And I still got Turn Off the Lights right to this day. I still sell Turn Off the Lights. I stopped selling them so fast on purpose. I'm kind of holding about 100 of them back, still in the cellophane sleeves, and I just had about 50 of them signed by Shakespeare and Yella. And so you got 3 out of 5 signatures. You got to get Dre's and Michelet's on your own. You got me and Yella and Shakespeare, but you can get Yella and Michelet and Dre. You got a collector's item. We give you 3 out of 5. Real talk. But yeah, Doc, that's just one of the things I had to do, man. I mean, dealing with the record business, man, you got to be real careful. You know, guys you think that's not gangsters, be killers for real. For real. I was talking about this the other day. A brother I met at a studio up in Hollywood. We were just kicking it. I met this brother, and we just got to vibing, man, and everything was cool. And he was Steve Arrington's manager. I met Steve Arrington. Me and Steve got to kicking it. I've always been a slave fan. I was a big fan of Steve Arrington. I got a chance to sit in the studio and kick it with him, man, for like 3-4 hours. We just chopped it up like old friends, man. And Monday, homeboy didn't come to the meeting. Well, shit, that night he was on the news. He was known for smoking people. He was dude. He looked just as calm as me and you. Cool dude, just was not to be messed with. And he out of jail now, so I ain't gonna call this. He long enough to be out. I'm not gonna get into that. But this is the kind of stuff that I had to go through. Dre didn't know about this right. Yellow know about this right here. This is real stuff, man. This dude, I ain't gonna say about it. I ain't gonna get into it on YouTube. But he was a real active cat in the real gangsters of America. Very active dude. And he got caught. They raided his house that Monday morning, and he was facing 99 years. I think he did like 25 or 26. He got out of jail though. He's out. That's how long ago it was.
You know, speaking of having to be a gangster sometime in the music biz, to let people know they just can't take advantage of you, this may be a good time to discuss a story that we haven't talked about in quite some time, at least a few years. But tell us the Compton's Most Wanted story. I think it took place in San Bernardino or something like that.
Fontana.
Tell us that one.
Man, I've always had an open door policy in my studio. I've always worked with a lot of different guys. And I let this one guy come in my studio. I know him. He played in one of the bands I was working with. And Slip came in, Big Slip from Sound Control Mob came in right behind him. He says, hey, man, I got these guys. I want to do a compilation album. And if you do it in the studio, we'll put it on your label. I'll produce everything. All you got to do is have us at the studio and buy the tape. That's a good deal. So Homeboy is supposed to be here in the morning, and Slip was going to be at night, and we had to change the shifts around. When Slip came in the morning, Homeboy come in at night. So the night before Slip was supposed to come in the studio, like always, I hear rumbling in the studio because my bedroom is right. I share walls with the studio. So if you guys are there playing or buzzing around too loud, I hear it. I didn't think nothing about it. Next morning, Slip comes to the pad, and I was in a hurry, so I just came up Open the studio door. Hey man, I'm gonna take a shower. I get back. Slip. Hey man, where is the outboard gear? Where is this unit? Where is this module? Where? I said, it's upstairs in the studio. What you talking about? Man, ain't nothing up here. Come upstairs, and sure enough, my shit is gone. My whole rack of equipment is gone. Reverbs and sound generators, all kind of stuff. I knew where it happened, but I didn't know how to catch this dude. I never knew where he lived at. It's the only time I ever had anybody steal something from me. Well, just so happened, his girlfriend called looking for him. When she called, I told her what happened. She said, he did what? I said, yeah. Then she paged him, did us a three-way, and yeah, I got that nigga Lonzo, woo, 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 woo. He got them niggas, some gangster niggas coming in doing stuff, and I'm trying to do my music, and he won't let me use it, so I said, hey man, I'm on the phone. Oh yeah, man, I was just gonna borrow it. I had to go to Arizona. I knew you would let me use it. You're damn right. Make a long story short, we found out where he was holed up at with my equipment. So the first, I had my nephew call, set up it was real basic shit. I had my nephew text him, and hey man, heard you got a studio, blah, blah, blah. So my nephew go to the house by himself to verify what was there. So a couple hours later, I go back. My nephew showed me where the pad is. I go back with me and my partner, and to get my stuff. They in there jamming. They doing their thing. All of a sudden, when I come up, I start talking shit. His girl come out the back room. She draw it out on everybody. All right, y'all got to go. Okay, no problem. And she called the police. By the time we get downstairs, the police got my name, address, driver's license, the whole 9 yards. So I'm burnt. So now, 8, Slip, Chill, Mike T, a bunch of folks, they're all upset. Because now they can't do their album. And they like, where he live? I said, we live out in Fontana. Let's go out there. I said, I can't go out there, man. The cops got my information. So me, my cousin jumped in his car, and these guys rolled out there in the van they call Great White, big old white box truck that they Slip had for carrying all those music equipment around. So now they send one guy to the door, Battery Brain. Battery Brain knocks on the door, bam, 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 and they let him in. So when she opened the door for Battery Brain, everybody else just goes in behind Battery Brain. I'm across the street watching everything. I'm not even on the property. I'm across the street watching everything best I possibly could. All of a sudden, they come out. They got blenders and microwaves and phone answering machines and baby stuff. What my equipment at? Well, homeboy, although his car was at the pad, he had moved my stuff. So now they pissed off. They saw his car. Somebody threw a brick or something through the answering machine or something through his window. Busted his window, jumped in the car, they left. Meanwhile, my beeper started blowing up. We on the 10 freeway trying to get back to LA. I can't get to an off ramp fast enough. He called me. I called him. What's wrong, man? What's happening? Man, why y'all do my girl like that, man? Y'all stole all my girl stuff. You stole all her baby stuff and food. And they stole everything, okay? And I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know nothing. But I bet you do. I'll tell you what, if my stuff come back, I might be able to help you. This dude, he was a bipolar wannabe gangster. So he had another mutual friend meet me a day or so later at a McDonald's in Covina, like a dope deal almost. It was this, my partner, he was so, he didn't know what to do. He nervous. He was shaking and said, man, calm down. I don't have no beef with you, man. Why y'all got me in this shit, man? I ain't take nothing. I ain't do nothing. Why I'm in there? Because you're the only one I'm gonna trust to bring my stuff without having a fit. So he give me all my stuff. I give him his girl stuff back. I get to the pad, and this Negro that went into all my machines took all the chips out. Though nothing worked. So I called him and said, I thought we was doing an even trade, man. Oh man, F you, okay, no problem. Cool. So give me $300 and I'll give you your chips. I said, I'm not giving you a damn thing. I don't fold like that. I'm not giving you a damn thing. I ain't giving you nothing. I will pay this white boy $500 before I give you a dime. So I take all my equipment out of Hollywood to the same guy I turned him on when his keyboard got broke. I said, man, look at my equipment. Tell me what it's gonna cost to replace these chips. I get back home. He says, man, the white boy called me. He says, Lonzo, what's going on, man? I said, what you mean? I just got a call from your buddy Vince wanting to sell me some chips for the same machine that you brought in to get fixed. I said, what? He said, how much you want for him? He just wanted $25. This is how brothers do you. I said, go on, pay for get your 25. Go get them, put them in there, get them working. I'll pay you the $25 plus whatever you're gonna charge me to put them in. He said, I'm just gonna put them in, man. I don't want no parts of this problem right here. So homeboy, he drove down, gave him the chips. Homeboy put them in my machine. I got the machines back. He didn't even charge me for putting them in. He just didn't want no parts of the problem. Now, here's what karma come back to bite you in the ass. Okay. Home about 2 or 3 months later, I'm at the pad on a Sunday afternoon, minding my own, as my partner say, my own self business. Nephew pulls up. Oh, call me. Oh, what you doing? I'm at the pad. What's happening, man? We coming by. I said, all right, cool. So he said, man, come out here. So I walk outside to this other dude. I'd never seen him before. They got emulators and they got keyboards and drum machines and turntables. I said, what y'all doing? Oh man, this in the homeboy, this punk ass nigga Vince gonna take a beat we made, sold to somebody else. We took all this shit. The same guy that stole my stuff, he got ripped off now. And they gonna give it to me. I don't want no parts of it. I don't need the karma. Well, I called Slip. I told Slip what happened. They hooked up. Whatever happened between them. Make a long story short, now he calling me crying, man, why y'all had to do? I didn't do nothing, man. I was talking about, man, somebody stole all my stuff. If you hear something, let me know. I ain't letting you know shit. That's real talk. I'm out. I never saw him again.
Karma's a bitch, man. Karma's a bitch. All right, we got about 10 minutes. I would love to hear this story, man. It's an old video. We haven't done one of these, this conversation in a minute, but tell us a story about why you stopped carrying a gun.
Which one?
Oh, shit. There was one we did a few years back, and you said, and that was when I'd never carried a gun again after that. I guess I'm assuming illegally.
I stopped carrying a gun. I got caught so many times with carrying guns, man, back in the day. Because people knew I had money, and this is the 80s, and even after dark was cracking, and everywhere I went, I carried a gun. My cousin, I got a cousin in Oakland. He's a jewelry dealer, and he got me into carrying guns. He always carried a 9mm in his little fanny pack. I thought that was so cool, so I started carrying mine. I got caught with my gun like 2 or 3 times, and it just so happened. Every time I got caught, I was just getting up for summary probation. Because back then they give you summary probation. Okay. Got 6 months summary probation. It'd be the 7th month. I just got off for 6 months of summary probation, and they give me another 6. Take my gun, give me another 6. And I think the one time when I go to court, that's what made me stop carrying guns. I go to court in Compton. And the second time I just got off summary probation again. Judge looked at my father and said, Mr. Williams, you like carrying guns, huh? I said, this is the 3rd time I got a case in LA. I had one in Compton, one in Compton, one in LA. He said, this is gonna be your 3rd time getting caught carrying a gun. You got a couple things in your favor. Every time you get caught, it's always your gun. Okay, with anybody's gun other than yours, you'd have a bigger problem. But the problem you got with me today is you haven't learned yet. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you one more chance. He said, but I'll tell you what, if you get caught with a gun within the next year, I'm gonna give you a year and $1,000 fine to think about it. No problem, Your Honor. You got to worry about me. No, I'm good. And that's when I stopped carrying guns.
That's the story I remember.
That's when I stopped carrying guns. The judge looked at me because back in the day, man, I got a picture of me with my name in gold, and I had a little razor blade attached to my name. I've always wanted a necklace. had a little razor blade attached to my name, and the judge looked at that razor blade and then my name. Lonzo, why is there a razor blade attached to your name? I said, because I'm Lonzo, I'm always sharp. Judge said, yeah, right. I know. Yeah, okay. He just looked at me and yeah, right. I know. Okay.
The 80s.
I'm just like a mafia. Back in the day, I always dressed like a mafia cat, man. When I went to the club, I would wear, a lot of times I would wear a suit. I'd have a collar bar on. I was influenced by mafia dressing back in the day. So I always had a nice suit. If I had a tie on, I wore a collar bar. I was always a dapper son of a gun, man. I was just, and I still do it from time to time, but I don't wear a tie that much. And just said, you look like you're a decent young man, but I could tell you're on the wrong path. I'm gonna straighten you. I'm gonna give you one more chance to get on the right path. This is the deal. You got a year on me and $1,000 fine if you get caught with a water pistol in Compton, LA County again. No problem. Got you.
Yeah.
I'm good. Now,
and you learned. A lot of people wouldn't even learn from that. They'll still do it and go to jail, then blame somebody else. When you took personal responsibility, said, "No, this is my problem. I'm done."
Yeah, I just started carrying my money different. I backed up off some of being so flashy. I was just as flashy as everybody else, dude. The flash, all it does is attract it to raw. It's like wearing honey, like wearing a bee suit, honey suit around bees. Get your ass stung. Right. You're gonna get your ass stung. I've been pretty blessed, but I had to start toning myself down. That's all. I mean, not that when I was someplace, I'd always dress up. I like getting dressed. But when it came to running around the neighborhood, I still was me, but I would just tone down a little bit, Doc. I mean, I had rings on every finger like everybody else, Jerry curl the whole 9 yards. And it just was, I was a magnet to the police for years. Oh my God. I didn't get out of the police's crosshairs since I moved to Dudos. And when I got to Dudos, all the cops was black that I worked for me, and it was cool. But now the white cops, they did not like me at all. And the fact that a young black man is running this nightclub and they got all these girls and brand new car, and they knew where I lived at too. Oh man, it was not a good time for the Godfather, dude.
You said your pops always kept one in the glove compartment, also, right? That
was another negative influence I had. My daddy carried a gun every day. In his trunk of his car, he had an old 64 Ford pickup, and they had the truck was all metal, but there was a cutout in the door with like a leather pocket with a big zipper on it. And he kept his 32 and kept money in the car. This is a true story. He kept a gun in the car, money he called a kitty, and the keys never left in the ignition. Never, and it was never locked.
That's so interesting, yeah.
It was never locked. And if you took the key out the ignition, he would have a fit. Where are my keys at? He never liked looking for his truck keys.
Wow.
Never liked looking for his truck keys, and he never lost a gun. Somebody did take the gun, but they brought it back. One of my thug buddies, I grew up in the neighborhood and he worked with us one day cutting lines, knew we had a gun in the car, and he took it. And I don't know what he did with it, but he brought it back. He said he didn't shoot it. He just needed it for I'm on TV. I'm on YouTube. He needed it for a minute, but he brought it back. True story. Wow. Different time, man. Different era, different everything, dude. Different everything.
Damn.
Everything.
Man, we're gonna have to get into that another time, because I can't believe LA used to be a place where you can actually leave your keys in your ignition, go inside the house, sleep all night, and just leave your keys in the ignition. I wouldn't even fathom that nowadays.
My daddy would park his lawnmower truck on the side of the house. Never had a lawnmower, never had a lawnmower chain down and nothing. Nobody, and we never lost a lawnmower. I would drive his truck to parties with lawnmowers on the truck. Never lost a lawnmower. Never. It would be nothing to leave your stuff outside and people just walk past and not bother it. Now, if you're working on somebody's yard, you better lock that shit up. You go to the backyard, you better lock it up in the front. If
Hell yeah.
And you go in the back, you got to lock it up. Hey, man, we got to roll, dude.
Different time, man. Always a pleasure. Happy 2025 to everyone. Be safe out there. Lonzo, hit him with that outro, man.
For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery. Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer until he got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line to Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bull, because it was all crap. And I do this every week. My history goes deeper than you'll ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace, folks. Happy New Year to you.